Bezat Hashem, we're back at the limud of Mishnah Brura, Bet Midrash HaKadosh, David Chai, B'Shat Matzliach. Anybody wants to join us, we're here every time, hopefully after Mincha Arvit, daily from Sunday through Thursday. Today is Thursday night already, Bezat Hashem, the 17th already. We're jumping into 17th of Tevet, which is going to be Friday, the 6th day of the week of Parashat Shabbat Shemot. How important it is to keep our shmot. The rabbi said the other day, lo shinu et shmot. What does lo shinu et shmot means? My name is not Abraham, my name is not an Avi, my name is Avraham. A person has to be very meticulous about his name, and obviously his children's name, and even his passport should say his real Jewish name. No playing games. Not Jojo, no George, no Jacob. He's Yaakov, not Moshe, not Moses. Moshe is Moshe. That's the way to get out of this galut. Okay, but anyway, that's a side note. However, we were back in the Mishnah Brura where we were discussing the other day what happens. You're starting to eat a meal, right? Be'isur. What does isur means? You started to eat a meal be'isur. I'm sorry, you see the sprinkles of the water on me. I have to go through mikvah to get in here, Baruch Hashem. the sprinkles every night, Baruch Hashem. Okay, anyway, I like it. Eretz Israel is mukaf. From all four sides is water. And the reason is that you have to go to become purified through water to go to the Eretz HaKodesh. Looks like this best medrash Gavo over here in Hollywood, Florida, also the same rules. You have to go in through the Kedusha. You have to go to the Kedusha, you have to get into a little bit sprinkled water on you. Hold on a second, I'm going to merge you with Yaakov. Merge. Okay. Zohar is on the line. I guess we're going to make it. Okay, so the question was like this. You started Be'isur. So you're planning to start Be'isur. You didn't start yet. What does that mean? You said the Seudah Shabbat Sheva Brachot is called for 6 o'clock. Tzedek HaChavim is 6:20. 6 o'clock the Sheva Brachot called, meaning you washed hands to do Netilat Yadayim for what? For Hamotze. Yeah. So said Rosh Hashanah what Ramah sound like to us over there. In that case, he told us, I don't care about your Netilat Yadayim. You said Al Netilat Yadayim. You washed your hands. And everybody realized, wait a minute, we were starting Be'isur. We have to wait 20 minutes for Kriyat Shema. We can't continue. We can't start. Says over there, says Ramah, start there, davening tefillah. And that's not called a hefsek. But wait a minute, you all said Al Netilat Yadayim looks like. What it sounded like to us. But let's see if that really means. Really means what it is. Seif Katan Chav Dalet. So he says like this. Afal Pisha Natal Yadav. You already washed your hand. Ramah said you should interrupt that and fulfill the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema first and then do the Hamotzi. So what's going on here? What does that mean? Hainu Avshi Yesh Ot Shehut Arbel Itpalel. Even though you have 20 more minutes till the Zman Kriyat Tfilah. Mit Machmerinan Le Shiafsik. We're doing a Chumrah on him and he must immediately interrupt. Wait a minute, how are you starting Be'isur? We told you, within a half hour of Zman of Kriyat Shema, you cannot start. Why are you starting at 6 o'clock? You have 20 more minutes. If it was 35 minutes, no problem. But you're starting Be'isur. So we tell him, because of that, we tell him to stop, because of the time. Over there, so remember the question you had yesterday, if you remember, gentlemen, Zohar, I believe, brought it up. What about Mincha? Over there, we tell him not to be hafsaka. Over there, Shulchan Aruch says immediate. Regardless, if you wash within half hour of mincha ktana, sorry, you should not interrupt your meal. You should not do hefsek now. Eat your meal and then do the tefillah. How come over there was not the same thing here? As we already explained over there, 232. The mincha kevan dezmana muad. No. The guy came to eat a sandwich. He's going to eat now a pastrami sandwich, right? He should not eat Sudat pastrami sandwich within half hour before Mincha. That's obviously he has to wait. But, says the Chacham, is like this. First of all, because Mincha, there is no laziness about it. Because a half hour, it's gone. In half hour, if you don't say Mincha, it's gone. Therefore, over there, if you want to eat your sandwich, we don't go crazy on you. Because you'll have anyway fear, you're not going to skip it. You're already so concerned, so you're going to eat your sandwich in 10 minutes. Eat your sandwich and khalas. But over here, Arvit is a problem. Because Arvit is what? It's just now starting the time. You still have the whole night. That's 12 hours. So what a person is going to take the cheshbon to himself? I have time. Oh, I have time. That is the Isur here. That is the problem because you have time. We're afraid.
Mincha 1:30. Is that different?
No difference. No difference. Right now, there's no difference because regardless what you chose to pray, let's say the guy always prays Mincha Gdola. Yeah. So that we already discussed that already. It doesn't matter. Whatever your choice is, either you do this Mincha, you do that Mincha, not a problem. But here you have no choice. Here at 6:20, it's Tzedek Kochavim. Tzedek Kochavim to fulfill mitzvot Kriyat Shema Deoraita. Here the Rabbanan tell you, even according to Ramah, even if you just washed your hands on Netilat Yadayim, you don't eat. You don't eat, you fulfill the mitzvah first. Okay? דהיינו מפסיק בדיעבד אם כבר נטל ידיו. Over there we said we don't tell him to do הפסקה if he washed already within half hour before מנחה. כתבנו כבר להרס בסימן, אוקיי. מה שאין כן בערבית דזמנה בדיעבד כל הלילה. So you see the problem is it's what's in your mindset. If your mindset is that the Arvit is the whole night, so you're going to say, you know what, I have time. And that what's what we afraid of, because you have time. In the end, you're going to miss it. We're afraid that you're going to say it because it's so long, so you have plenty of time, and you're going to end up missing it altogether. He says, even if you did, as long as you did not start eating, and you realized at 6 o'clock that you have, right now you have to wait 20 minutes for Kriyat Shema. You already done Netilat Yadayim, you still not Netilat Yadayim, say the Kriyat Shema first. But tell him to be Mechayev him to fulfill the mitzvah Kriyat Shema. Oh, this is the question. Does that mean really after Netilat Yadayim bracha? He says no. Why did I say it's a question? I'll tell you why I thought it was a question. Because the Fidat Ashkenazim, they hold, there is a shita in Ashkenazim, the Taka says, before every prayer you wash your hands and you make a bracha. Every prayer. Shaharit, Mincha, Arvit, it doesn't matter. As long as you're before prayer, there is a shita that holds, you wash your hands. Not I'm not saying that necessarily everybody follows this kind of shita, but there is such shita. Such a shita. So I thought Lechatchil over here, maybe Rima will come and say to me, since you are now studying the Suda Be'isur, you're studying Suda where you're not appropriate. And you already made out Netilat Yadayim. You know what? Use that Netilat Yadayim for Tefillah. That's what I want to say. But Mishnah Berurah says, not like me. Mishnah Berurah says, "V'davka k'shelo birech adayin al Netilat Yadayim." This is Mishnah Berurah says, it's as long as what the Ramah meant, don't make that mistake that I made, saying that maybe that Netilat Yadayim is going to work for that. Aval im kvar birach al Netilat Yadayim, nachon shelo yafsik. It's appropriate not to do hefsek. If you made Netilat Yadayim for Suda and you're holding at 6 o'clock, right? You make Netilat Yadayim. You're in the limbo now. What is it Netilat Yadayim? We hold that for Mincha we don't write. For Arvit we don't make wash your hands. So what is this Netilat Yadayim for? Right? For sure, if you hold it, you have to wash your hands. We already said you don't make a bracha because it's Safek Brachot. So what's this Netilat Yadayim for? So he says like this: don't make that mistake, and don't tell me since he already did Netilat Yadayim, he should do what? אלא יברך המוצא ויוכל כזית ויפסיק סעודתו. So says in the Mishnah Berurah, to go out, to take out all the doubts from your mind, go ahead and make hamotze lechem min haaretz. And eat exactly 30 grams, not less than 30 grams. 28 grams to 30 grams. Make sure you eat kazait, and there you have to stop and wait. There we're going to punish you in a wait. However, we said, we already told you, that what happens is you made a Netilat Seudah and you already started at 6 o'clock. And you're already eating. Everybody's washing their hands. All of a sudden, one guy comes in, 6:10. Chevre Kriyat Shema. So, but now you started already, right? We said already the halacha. Once you started and you realize that you're eating B'Yisur, we tell you even then you should not be mafsik. We already said that halacha. Why over here we tell him to stop? Hachashani. Here it's different. Why? Because when did he realize that he did Isur? After Netilat Yadayim. Before Achila. שלא התחיל לאכול רק בשביל שלא יהיה הפסק בין נטילת ידיים להמוצא שאינו נכון להתחיל. Again, it's inappropriate to start a Suda at 6 o'clock. But the only problem what we allow you to make a bracha motzi right now because you already made a bracha on Netilat Yadayim. So that in order to prevent the bracha lebatala of not Netilat Yadayim, we told you, okay, go ahead and eat a kazayit of bread. But to say that's now going to give you a heter, don't say Kriyat Shema until until later on. No, you're supposed to say Kriyat Shema now. That's when you're supposed to fulfill it. What do you want to say? I'm sorry. כן, אני מכיר ברכות מוסייף.
מתפללים מנחה ומיד ערבית.
כן.
אחרי זה עושים השקיע תשמע ישראל מחדש.
כן.
מה עושים את זה?
זה מה שאנחנו מדברים. זה בדיוק אנחנו מדברים. אנחנו מדברים, לפעמים עשית את זה, לפעמים לא עשית את זה. מה עושים? This is exactly the questions that we have now. We're trying to cover all the grounds. For the past 2 weeks, by the way, we're doing this. Trying to figure out what happens in every scenario. And here's the scenario. Scenario was, you washed for Netilat Yadayim. You didn't pray. You made a beautiful example when you said we discussed yesterday. You said, what about you already prayed early Mincha? Early Arvit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about here now, the guy didn't pray early Arvit. And he's supposed to pray 6:20. That's Kriyat Shema, that's Tzedek Kochavim. But what happened was, Be'isur, at 6 o'clock, they called Sheva Brachot, and they all washed hands. The question is now what we do. At 6 o'clock, you have 15 guys sitting over there for Sheva Brachot, and they all wash hands. Do we make a bracha? Or do we say, since he made Al Netilat Yadayim, do we say, like I would think, that according to Rema, we say, no, it's your problem, tough luck. You said Netilat Yadayim, use that bracha for Tfilat Arvit. The washing of the Tfilat Arvit. That's what I thought to say. But Mishnah Berurah came and said, no, Habibi, you're wrong. Avram Sofer, you're 100% wrong. If you made Al Netilat Yadayim by mistake, right? You made Al Netilat Yadayim, you wanted to start the Suda behefsek, beta'ud, behisur, you wanted to start? Says Mishnah Berurah, no, we're going to allow you, Zohar, you heard that? We're going to allow you to eat kazayit of bread, in order not to make tzed, bracha v'netilat yadayim should be your bracha levatala, and then eat after kazayit, you should do hefsek, and wait till 6:20. אוקיי? ולכן אין צריך להפסיק. השני שלו התחיל לאכול רק בשביל שלא יהיה הפסק בין נטילת ידיים למוציא. שאין יכול להתחיל כמואר לעיל בסימן קס"ט. As we already explained, later we already did that in Siman 166, where it discusses clearly that this is Isur, a person should not be starting a Seudah, obviously, before the prayers are commencing. Okay, let's see what are the now Kav Hei. Seif Katan Kav Hei. אף על פי, I'm reading in רמה, אף על פי שלא שנטל ידיו צריך להפסיק. No, sorry, that was כ"ד. ואם אין שהות להתפלל, מפסיק אף לתפילה. Oh, so now, this was a little bit problems, right? How is it shaykh that there is no time for Arvit to pray? Arvit is a whole night, by the way. Arvit is the longest prayer time that we are allowed to pray, right? We have only 4 hours in Shacharit, right? From Tzedek Kochavim until about 10:30, 11 o'clock, okay? But Mincha, what?
בדיעבד all night or לכתחילה?
It's a good question. In the end, sof kol sof, it's lechatchila. It depends. Why are you davening 3 o'clock in the morning? Obviously, because you were not able to daven at 10 o'clock in the morning, at night, right? So you're davening 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, so that's lechatchila. You yotzeh, no, yotzeh. No, the b'diavad comes is like this. You want to hear what the b'diavad is? B'diavad is like this. Alot HaShachar today is 6:02. Okay? Alot HaShachar is 6:02, 6:05, let's say, approximately. Hey, today, in Florida, right? When do you say Kriyat Shema of the night? 6:20. That's b'diavad. Is it really? Take a look in Halacha. טוב, רב שמעון נסמוך עליו. In the end, we say
6:02?
6:02 is Alot HaShachar. Right? 6:20, you did Kriyat Shema of night. Okay? Is that b'diavad or lechatchila? Okay, that's the shayla. Now we're talking business. But still, you had the whole night, till 6 o'clock in the morning. From 4 or 6 o'clock at night, till 6 o'clock in the morning. 12 hours. Arvit is the longest period.
That's what Masechet Brachot, that's what we start, no?
That's right.
Guys come from a party.
So okay, that's now we're going to b'diavad and lechatchila.
בישראל זה עד 12.
לא, not עד 12, עד חצות זה לכתחילה, עד עלות השחר זה גם לכתחילה. That's what I'm trying to tell them. Because b'diavad is until nets, that's the diavad. He asked the question, I answered him. Okay, I hope so. Okay, Leor is leaving us, but wonderful, thank you for joining us. Hazak Baruch. Kav Hei, v'im en shehut. Now, so I wanted to ask, it says over there, you don't have time for Arvit. Right? So you're in the middle of Suda, we said you should not be mafsik, you should finish your Suda and then do Arvit. But the Rama says something very strange. Give him one second.
If it was
Page 298. We're going into page Kufnun. What he's saying like this. Odabam.
If you started,
איזה עמוד?
Kufnun. Kufnun. So again, what do you want to say, Zohar? Listen to the scenario. The scenario is, said to Rama something very strange. He says that, let's say you started 7 p.m. The Tzedek Kochavim is 6:20. Okay. You started 7 p.m. You said the Suda, you forgot to say Kriyat Shema, Be'isur Be'echlet. Everybody agrees you did a mistake. You're supposed to say Kriyat Shema and then make a Suda. He didn't. 7 p.m. he started his Sudat, what? Sudat Sheva Brachot. Yafet. Says Rama that all this is allowed, you don't have to do interruption, as long as you have time later on to say Arvit. And that little bit bothered me. Unless really over here Rama is indicating.
minyan or?
No, not necessarily minyan. You don't need a minyan to do tefillah. You don't need a minyan to do tefillah. There is no minyan. What? You're not going to say tefillah? Of course you're going to say tefillah. So, he says there is no time to say tefillah. What does that mean? Ela im ken Rama is indicating somebody starting Sheva Brachot 5:50 in the morning. That's the only scenario I understand over here. Right? If 5:50 you started Suda in the morning, and 6:02 is Alot HaShachar, and you're supposed to finish Arvit before Alot HaShachar.
It's a Buhari wedding.
Maybe. Is that what it means? Is that what it means over here? Maybe that's what it means. I don't understand what it means. If yes, shahud. What do you mean yes, shahud?
Plov for breakfast at a Buhari wedding.
No, I think over here maybe he talks about Alaska. Maybe you have such problems in Alaska. Remember, by them it's like day and night. You don't really know what's going on there. So if they're going to give you Arvit, there's maybe like 10 minutes Arvit. You better catch it or you lose it. Or you snooze, you lose. Maybe that's what Rama means. I really don't understand this Rama. But let's see if Mishnah Berurah. Sif Kabatan Kav Hey. All the way in the end, in the bottom of page 298. All the way in the last word. What's your name, Tzadik? I don't know.
Yosef.
Rabbi Yosef, over here. The last word on the previous page. 298. All the way in the bottom, Mishnah Berurah Kav'im Kav Hey. V'im and Shehut. What does that mean? There is no time to pray Arvit. This bothered me a little bit, but let's see what does that mean. Retzono lamar. What Rama meant is the following. Ben shehu omed samuch la'alot hashachar. Here's the Rama. He is standing right before alot hashachar, 5:50 in the morning. O afilu omed b'tchilat halayla, rak she'seuda zo timashech ad alot hashachar. You ever been to such a wedding? I used to work at weddings. I used to work as a photographer at the weddings. I used to be, the guy who holds the battery?
I used to be a waiter.
No, the guy who schleps the waiter is not as a big deal. You guys are off already after the meal. I'm talking, we're staying there for mitzvah tanz. Till 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, they used to do dancing. Avram Fried would be there. Avram Fried, Mordechai Ben Dave. I remember those days. In my day, they drove me over there. I was the schlepper, the battery schlepper for the guy, for the photographer. Oh my gosh. That was the best nights. Like, you're going to get double pay. No. Till 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, I think we was just driving home 6:30, and it was already sunrise.
בארץ זה עד 2. בארץ זה עד 2.
בת 2, אוי אוי
זה
אוי.
כאילו, מה שבאמת מתארך.
כן.
Today weddings don't go that way.
It depends, you'll be surprised.
אצל החרדים,
ליטאים ככה, כן.
ליטאים, כן.
ליטאים, they dance. They מקיים שבע brachot. There's a question if you're allowed to pray. And Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to pray for 7 days. Chatan and Kala. Chatan and all his they all paturim of tefillah. 7 days, they're all drunk. Imagine what those days was. You ever saw Indian movies? The Hindu movies are the Chatunah 7 days.
Georgians also do it.
7 days. The whole like where do you have all the money, man? Where's all the booze coming from? It's coming. They're drinking. 7 days, Rahman al-Islam.
בירושלים, בשכונות, ויש את זה.
יש את זה?
כן, אני מרחובות.
וואו, לא ראיתי דבר כזה בחיים שלי עכשיו. אוקיי. אוקיי, בוא נראה דרשה. כגון סעודות גדולות.
To do not just Sheva Brachot, to do 2 weddings.
Oh, hey, listen to this.
The Chatan does the wedding, then the Kala does the wedding.
Wait a minute. כגון, he's telling you. כגון סעודות גדולות בימות הקיץ שהלילות קצרים. What happens in, you ever been to Manchester? 4 o'clock in the morning is sunrise already. 12 o'clock was sunset. So the wedding started at 12 and they finished at 4:30. What are you going to do with them?
I understand.
Yeah. In Manchester, sunset is 12 o'clock at night and sunrise is 4 o'clock in the morning.
הנה, בארצות הצפון, באירופה, אין בכלל לילה.
Yeah, yes, there's sound like
מה
that.
עושים שמה? אין בכלל לילה.
וואו.
אתה מבין מה אני אומר?
That's what he's talking about. צריך להפסיק. So over there, צריך להפסיק. You have to be very careful to stop, interrupt what you're doing, make a prayer, and then go on. מיד ביציאת הכוכבים, immediately after the stars come out, ואפילו התחיל בהיתר מבעוד יום, נמי הדין כן. He says in these places, where you have 1 hour night, even if you started the סעודה בהיתר, and it's a 6-hour סעודה, interrupt the סעודה for Arvit. We're gonna have beef with you. You must interrupt it. Even though we had till now, you don't interrupt. You have till plenty. It's talking about general, like us. We live in Arvit Achoref. Yes. בחוות, רבי יוסף תתחיל ג' שולחן ערוך. Read it out loud because Rabbi Yosef, we have Baruch Hashem the honor of some YouTube people following us. Few, not so many, only like four, like 500 people almost.
הביאו אותי לפה מיוחד.
Okay, בחוות. ג' Say it out loud so that people on the YouTube will hear you.
איפה לקרוא?
ג'
לכתחיל
צריך?
צריך לקרוא קריאת שמע. מיד בצאת הכוכבים בזמנה.
וזמנה.
עד חצי הלילה.
So the halacha is the most appropriate way to fulfill the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema is immediately at Tzet HaKochavim to start reading it, and you will have to fulfill it until Chatzot, midnight. ואם עבר.
ואם עבר בחר קרא, עד שלא עלה עמוד השחר. יצא ידי חובתו.
So now, if you did not read till Chatzot, and you read till Adot HaShachar till 6 o'clock in the morning, these days in Hollywood, Yatza. So Yatza Yedei Chovato, is it mean B'diavad? Here's Rabbi Zohar is going to ask, by the way, a question. B'diavad or lechatchila? Let's see. That's why we have Mishnah Berurah Kadosh. Sometimes Matzliach throws in stuff, but we don't see it so far. He's not bothered by much. Well, we just started. It's 20 minutes here, shows. Another few minutes. Let's go. Gimel. Miyad b'tzet HaKochavim, look in the bottom in Mishnah Berurah, Sif Katan Chavvav, Gimel Chavvav. Miyad b'tzet HaKochavim. So you have to start right away saying Kriyat Shema in the middle of when the stars came out. There's Rizin, Magdimin le-mitzvot, because that's the way to fulfill the mitzvot. And here's Ish Matzliach. Look on the one side, number one over here. Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef. Here's number one, Ish Matzliach, we're going to read it right now. What do you want to say?
What did he say? I missed it.
You must immediately say, by the time of stars coming out, to say fulfill the mitzvah, Kriyat Shema. Because Rizim, Magdimin le-mitzvot. People who love to do mitzvot, do it fast.
That's what I just did in the car.
Beautiful. Aleph.
Even though I have to come to class.
No, then we have to talk to you differently. Ish Matzliach number one. אולם עיין בבית יוסף שכתב בשם רבנו יונה שהטעם הוא כדי שלא יבוא לידי פשיעה. No, what means ריזים מקדימים למצוות? That's the reason? That's not what בית יוסף told us. בית יוסף told us that you should not by mistake make a mistake and skip the time. That's not, the reason is not because of ריזים. The mitzvah is because we're afraid you're going to lose it. וכן כתב Maran Gufa Bekameache. So Maran does not follow this Mishnah Berurah of Zrizim Ekdimin. V'chen katav b'kesev Mishnah. So to explain the Mishnah on Rambam. So you see that Beit Yosef Maran Shulchan Aruch is lefi shitato. It's nothing to do because of Zrizim Magdimim leMitzvot. It's have to do with the fact is that it's time right now to do what? Mitzvat Kriyat Shema. And you want to fulfill it b'tzedek kochavim appropriately. That's what Ish Matzliach is explaining on Mishnah Berurah. Let's continue Mishnah Berurah. Sif Katan Chav Zayin. Ad Chatzi Halayla. Wait a minute. So now, is this the Chatchila or not? That's the question of Zohar, right? Is this talking about until midnight? It's talking about Pirush. The Rabbanan Gadru Sha'asur le'itacher b'kriyat Shema b'yoter mechatzot. The Chachamim told us that it's prohibited to wait to fulfill the mitzvah Kriyat Shema after Chatzot. שלא לבוא לידי מכשול. Again, because we're afraid, the same reason. Not because of Zrizim, Mishnah Berurah is also agreeing. It's because we're afraid that you're going to make a mistake.
You can get tired, fall asleep.
Yeah. ואם מתאחר במקרה עובר על דברי חכמים. And somebody who waits to read Kriyat Shema, he is breaking the words of Chazal. אבל עד חצות הלילה, ליקה איסורה אם מתאחר. However, until all the way till Chatzot, that's half a night, that's 6 hours of the night. But that's not called mitacher, it's not called late, it's still called fulfill the mitzvah. Because most people are still up at that time. Ela shelo nikra zariz. Again, Mishnah Berurah lefi shitato. He's telling you, it again has to do with zrizut. It's about fulfilling the mitzvot hastily. It's kind of lael. V'hainu b'yoshev ve'en osek b'achila o b'malacha המטרדת, דהי לא אוכל או עוסק במלאכה המטרדת, כהי בזמן, בסימן הזה, בדין האסור מי שהגיע זמן קריאת שמע. Okay, so all this is what? Listen to this. All this is allowance that you could wait till the Chatzot Laila if you're not busy with anything. If you're just bumming around. If you're bumming around, you could have all the way till Chatzot. But if you have something to do, you cannot do it until you do Kriyat Shema. This is amazing. You want to mention why? Well, what are we afraid? If you have something to do, we're afraid you're going to get tired. We're afraid you're going to forget. Therefore, we're going to have the Isur. But if you're just bumming around, you're retired home in Florida over here. The guy is going on bingo game on soon.
Florida.
But it's a retired home. What do you want? Again, what do you think they do here? Retired. Everybody, Baruch Hashem, by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, everybody's retired. The shuls are all empty. Rahman al-Islam, the shuls should be booming. But okay, not all the shuls, Baruch Hashem. You have to wait. Beis Mordechai, 10 o'clock at night, they have a siyumim over there. Okay. Kavchet, ve'im avar ve'echar. What about a person who decided to pray after Alot HaShachar? After Chatzot. So what happens in that case? The Mea Torah, the Kuli Alma Zmana Kol Alayla. No, that's the Chatchila. According to Torah, you could say Kriyat Shema until Alot HaShachar, until 6 o'clock in the morning. Uvshoch Becha. Kol Zman Shebnei Adam Shochvim Mashma. According to Torah, as long as people are sleeping, you could say fulfill the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. Therefore, what happens? Why you fulfill the mitzvah at 6:30 in the morning, which is already after Alot HaShachar, before the Tzachama? Same reason. Why? Because people are still sleeping. You know how many people sleep at 6:30? I'm trying to beg over here. I'm begging, literally. I'm begging people. Come. 6:45, we have Shur Gemara in Anglit. We're going to make it. You're going to love it. You're going to word for word. You're going to learn. Rabbi, חובלו, I'm sleeping.
שיבואו לארץ. אנשים ביום וחצי, 5 לשיעורי תורה.
בטח. all the schools are packed already, learning already. I'll be over here soon. So he says that's the reason. You know why you yotze Kriyat Shema at 6:30 in the morning after Alot HaShachar? Because of that reason. Because people are still sleeping.
Here we just don't have enough English speakers.
עד שלא עלה עמוד השחר, משום דמעיירי בעבר, דהיינו בפשיעה, נקט עד שלא עלה, אבל בנאנס. One second. I got you, I know that. I'm not here, I'm not attacking anything. ברוך השם. Okay. דהיינו בפשיעה, עד שלא עמוד השחר, so what happens is you could say Kriyat Shema until Alot HaShachar, as long as you didn't do it on purpose. Here's the Ramam. משנה ברורה. משום דמעיירי בעבר, דהיינו בפשיעה. Right? נקד עד שלא עלה, אבל בנאנס, אפילו אחר שעלה השחר, רק שהוא קודם חנץ, נמי קורא ויוצא כדלקמן. Okay, all this is happening when a person was lazy, bumming around until Alot HaShachar. But if a person was busy, let's say he was working in the Chatuna, like me, a guy working in the middle of the night with he's carrying the battery. That's his job. He has to Kriyat Shema now. No, there's no time for anything. He has to follow the orders. And now it came 6:30 in the morning. The Chatuna is finished. He's followed. They leave him alone. Say Kriyat Shema right now because now that's called honest. And that's going to be called Bedi Avad. 6:30 in the morning already after the Alot HaShachar. In between, before the Tzachama, it's already Bedi Avad.
אתה לא ישן, אתה לא עושה ברכות השחר.
ברכות השחר, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Kriyat Shema right now. ברכות השחר עוד לא הגענו לברכות השחר. שם נגיע, אנחנו נדבר בזה. ברוך אדוני לעולם, אמן ואמן. Thank you for מצטרפים. Thank you for helping us out. בעזרת השם, Hashem's help. We will continue on Sunday. תודה רבה. Thank you for joining. מתי? שיהיה לך ביום נסיעה. מתי?
יום שלישי.
אוקיי, יש לך זמן, עוד יום יש לך פה.